Okay, today I have Titania Jordan of Bark Technologies. Hi, Titania.
Hey, Nikki. Hey,
Hey.
hey, all the scrolling to death fans and
Yeah.
followers. Y'all are my people.
So there's a lot going on over at Bark, and you guys are releasing the Bark Watch soon. Can you just tell us briefly about that? And also, I want to know when I'm going to get one.
We all do.
Yeah.
Right now, our CTO, Brandon Hilkert, is one of the only ones who has it.
Okay.
And it's so cool. I'm getting screenshots and
Yeah.
seeing the programming of the location and like just to be so close to something that I know is going to help so many families it's amazing. I'm blown away. But yeah, so when does everybody get it? I would say off the record, I mean, it's on the record because it's on this podcast, but like, don't email our customer success team and be like, Titania said,
Yeah.
I would say off the record, you should have it maybe mid-November, maybe
Okay.
mid-November, like
Okay.
a time before the holiday
Yeah.
season. And maybe those of us who talk about things like this, maybe even sooner, than
Hmm.
that. But there's some things that are, not in our control, right? We can
Yeah.
we can program, we can design, but then other people have to do other things and we're kind of beholden to them.
Yeah. Okay. And there's the wait list on your site. So I'll include that link so
Yes.
people can, and you're entering to win a free watch, right? On the
Yeah, I
wait
think we're
list.
giving away 10 free watches.
Amazing. Okay.
So yeah, I always love it when you have more than one chance to win. If you just
Yeah.
have one chance to win something, I'm like, I'm not even going to bother.
There's no way.
Like,
I know.
yeah, but like 10,
Uh-huh.
okay, let's do this.
I'm so excited because I love the watch idea for a first device. And I think it really allows you to delay giving them any kind of phone quite a long time. And it gives you the option to talk and text and locate them and do a couple small things. I can't wait to see what the functionality is going to be on your guys' watch. But what I think my goal is just delaying the smartphone access. When you do give a phone, the Bark phone is definitely the best choice. But what we're going to talk about today is Apple and iPhones because there's still about 87% of teenagers are getting an iPhone. That was a stat from 2023. It could be less maybe, and then people are giving Androids too. Do you feel like Androids are as unsafe as iPhones or a little better? Do you have any opinion on that?
Yeah, I think Androids are definitely safer than iPhones. I really do.
Okay.
Not just because of the compatibility that Android offers with parental control platforms
Mm-hmm.
and monitoring solutions.
Oh,
Um, but when you go to look at Samsung or Android or any of these entities,
mm-hmm.
they aren't leaning in so hard to privacy,
Right.
privacy and hiding and encryption. Like
Mm-hmm.
they're not. Um, and that's just from a purely marketing standpoint. I'm not even talking about the back end security. So you have to wonder if a company is really leaning into that messaging, Apple, and then you see some of the features that just came out, which we'll talk about, like the ability to hide and lock apps. It's just screaming like we are not creating a safe environment for children.
Right.
Just so yeah. But don't get it twisted. Like if a child has an unmonitored, unfiltered, unprotected Android device, they are still fully able to encounter all the problematic things we talk about. So it's not inherently safer,
Mm-hmm.
but they make it easier for you if you are in the know, and you do follow a few steps to make it safer, and that's critical. That's all we want from Apple.
Yeah. Yeah. Privacy is so interesting. And when we talk about Apple wanting to tout privacy in their marketing and in their functionality, obviously we can agree that it's bad for kids because it makes it impossible for parents to monitor what's going on. But why do adults need the option to like hide everything on their phone? I don't know. Like just wondering where you stand on, is that even good for adults to be told that we need to be hiding everything?
So I'm split 50-50 on this.
Yeah.
I don't know the rate at which people's iPhones are getting stolen, and then the
Sure.
people stealing them have access to things like banking apps or sensitive data.
Okay.
If that is a high rate of occurrence, then I appreciate Apple releasing the ability to hide those apps, right?
Yeah.
On the flip side, let's just talk about, the divorce rate of the country and the rate at which people are having, affairs or even just like chatting with
Yeah.
other people online while they're married. And I feel like that's the more relevant use
I
case for this,
think
if we're being
so.
honest. It's like,
Right.
let me hide on my side piece conversations. Thanks, Apple.
Yeah. That's what I think of. When I think of adults needing to hide things, I think about hiding it from your spouse or your partner.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, that's so
Yeah. Okay. Just a thought. I was just wondering, like, why the
just a nugget.
privacy? Yeah. Okay. We're here today to talk about the latest update. So on September 16th, Apple released a new update to their iOS 18. And I saw that your team at Bark was giving some warnings about what was included in this update. And I haven't done a deep dive on this. I thought you could just tell me. So
Yes.
start with the good news. Is there anything good about Apple iOS 18 update?
Yes, there is good news. And so many of us have encountered, the green bubble versus blue bubble. Green bubble meaning Android, the color of Android text messages,
Yeah.
and then blue meaning iOS. And that can, cause some friction in social circles, but it can also cause friction in functionality.
Yeah.
Sometimes videos might be grainy if they're coming to you from an Android phone to an iPhone and that sort of thing, little
And
buggy.
when you like something, it says like you liked this rather than actually putting the thumbs up on the
Yeah.
message. It's
Yeah.
annoying.
It is annoying. It is
Yeah.
annoying. So, they are rolling out RCS messaging, which means better, more seamless texting between iPhones and Androids. So
Great.
it's going to be great. That we are happy about that for both adults and children. Like that's cool. That's great. Good job.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else good?
No.
Okay. All right. So let's spend some time on the bad stuff. So what about this iOS 18 update for Apple are you not happy with?
Yeah. And just like a clarifying statement, like all of these things they're rolling out are good in terms of like cool technological progress for adults. But Nikki, when you ask me if they're good and I say no so quickly, it's because my first thought is this going to be helpful or safe for children?
Yeah.
And is it going to be easy for parents to even know that it exists and make it safer for their children? And that answer is a glaring no. So that's why no. But full disclosure, I'm talking to you from a MacBook Air. I have an iPhone. I have an Apple Watch. Like I'm not anti-Apple. I'm anti-Apple's current state of what it is doing or what it's not doing to keep kids safer online. So.
Yeah. And everything we do here is focused on decisions around devices for our children and software and apps for our children. So that's our focus. When we give our kids an iPhone, one of the things is they're going to roll out updates often. And it's our responsibility then to know what our kids are getting access to within that update. So I hope, this will be an ongoing conversation because there'll be another update soon. But so with this specific update, what did you feel is not helpful for children's use of iPhones?
Great. Okay. So there are 5 features that the team at Bark highlighted as features to worry about. I would say there's 3 that are highly concerning to me. And so I'll start with those. First and foremost, you may have already seen the buzz about this online, but the ability to hide and lock apps in the hidden apps folder. So with this new iOS rollout, children can quickly lock individual apps, which means you need Face ID or a passcode before an app will open. And if you hide this app, all notifications will be silenced. So, the tells that there is an app that exists, etc. It's all going to be buried.
Can you hide any app or only specific apps?
I believe you can hide any app.
So kids can just have social media on their phone and then like when they hand it over to their parent at night, they just like hide all the apps and their parents can't find it.
Yes. Yeah. Now,
oh my gosh.
Now, there was a recent news report, I forget which city because I've been Googling the you-know-what out of this, that said that Apple said that in the family center, there is a way to turn that off for children to be able to hide and lock apps.
Okay.
I haven't seen that stated anywhere on their properties, so I can't confirm that. And there's also a caveat there. That's if you have set up, the parental controls built into the Apple ecosystem. And if Apple actually knows your child's age, if they know that your child's real age, that you have an 11-year-old that has an iPhone, which they
Mm.
shouldn't, but
Mhm.
then you might be able to prevent it, but it's still TBD. As of now, I have not seen a single existing parental control that prevents a child from hiding any app on their iPhone and preventing a parent from knowing it exists or having the ability to, to monitor it.
Okay, great.
Fabulous. Great,
Yeah,
Tanya.
okay,
Yeah.
not good for kids.
Not good for kids. Now the other two concerning, and then
Yeah.
there's two less concerning, are use tap to cash to send and receive Apple Cash. So again, like empowering children to be able to send and receive money can be great in some ways. If you're at the ballpark and you want them to just go and get a hot dog or whatever and not have to be bothered with a check card,
Mhm.
but it can also be very dangerous, especially as children get older, with fentanyl laced pills, and just not having an idea of where their allowance is going.
Mhm.
So yeah, the
And should
ability
it
to,
be so easy to spend money? Like,
not for children,
I know.
not for
I don't
children.
even use the tap on the machines that I put my card in the slot because I feel like deep down that it shouldn't be this easy. And I can't figure out why I'm doing that. But I don't know. Like, shouldn't you have to think for a second about what you're buying?
Well, there's
I don't
that.
know. Yeah.
There's that. And I also wonder, like children can be taken advantage of, at least with payment apps and things like the green light card. You have a trail, right? Someone's contact info or phone number to track the transaction, Venmo, Cash App, etc. But with tap to cash, both users just tap their iPhone to each other's iPhone, and then money is sent. And like,
Okay. Because right now, a lot of the, like when a fake pill or when a pill is sold through social media or anything, fake driver's license, like anything that's illegal, they
yeah,
bring them to these other cash apps where they have to download the app, connect with the person, and it's harder to make that transaction. So now you're saying they can much more easily spend money on something that could be bad for them, right?
yep, just by tapping an iPhone to another iPhone.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
so concerning, yeah. And then the third aspect that is concerning is Apple Intelligence, which again, super cool for adults,
Mm-hmm.
but as we've seen with other apps that have implemented AI within their application that children use, like Snapchat My AI,
Mm-hmm.
we're really just giving children full access to misinformation in some cases. We know that AI intelligence, artificial intelligence,
Mm-hmm.
um, is, it's incredible, but it can also be misleading. It doesn't always get everything right, and it doesn't have that parental lens. If it doesn't know that a 13-year-old is asking about how to hide the scent of alcohol on your breath before you get home from school,
Yeah.
it's going to give that child clear instructions for how to do that, and that's not right.
So AI is now on all of the iPhones. Like the chat bot, is it another app? Like where do they, or is it just like you click the side, like Siri kind of deal? Do you know?
So it's gonna be like Siri, but the following iPhone models will have Apple Intelligence: iPhone 16, 16 Plus, 16 Pro, 16 Pro Max, 15 Pro, 15 Pro Max, and then it's also going to be available on an iPad and a Mac with an M1 chip or later models.
I feel like Apple's just trying to really convince parents that they need to stop giving their kids iPhones. Like they're doing it for us because we know that AI is generally, well, it is fully unregulated. It's unsafe for kids. It's getting bad data input or input from the whole internet, which there's a bunch of misinformation and disinformation and bad stuff. And then it's outputting bad, dangerous, unsafe information. And there are companies like Angel Kids AI that I interviewed Tim Estes recently and a couple other good AI companies that are trying to fix this problem of bad AI. But right now, generally, all the social media AIs, this AI, like you can't trust it to give safe information to your child, number one. Number two, your child needs to learn how to critically think. We can't be making it so easy for them to get information and process information for them. Their brain needs to learn how to do that. So AI is bad for their brain development. So having it
Yes,
available in their pocket 100% of the time, we're going to see big issues with that as these kids get older.
we absolutely are. And I don't know if you have interviewed anyone from Heat Initiative yet,
Not
but I think that would be, you have?
No, not yet.
Okay. I think that would be a great interview. But they were holding up posters outside of Apple's announcement in New York, like big
Mm-hmm.
posters that say, new phone, same dangers for kids. And Apple, stop selling unsafe phones to kids. And Tim Cook walked by and saw those. Like,
Oh, I saw that clip.
yeah.
Good.
So
Okay.
it's not like they don't know.
Well, they're making the argument against themselves better. I mean, this is better for you, for Bark, for all of us parents that are like, iPhones aren't safe. Look, they're making it more and more unsafe. These are really concerning updates, especially the AI piece for me.
It is a tool. It is a tool that needs to be used responsibly and with wisdom, and not just handed to a child to say, have fun with this, go explore.
Yeah.
So I don't want it to come across like we're demonizing AI. Like,
no, I think the key is, and what Tim Estes said at Angel Kids AI is, with a lot of these AIs, most that exist now, you need to do it with them, always together. So you're monitoring. And that's what the case with a lot of tech these days is, like, tech together is the safest way. So giving it to them in their pocket where they have it all the time and not with you, and they're using it without you monitoring it, is going to be unsafe. So we have to teach it to them or introduce it to them in safe ways, and that requires us to be involved.
Hopefully, Apple will, within the family center screen time controls, will give parents the option to turn it off for their children, because that's highly irresponsible if not. But we don't see that mentioned anywhere yet. So now the two features that are less concerning are one, schedule a message with send later. So, again, cool. Like, yeah, maybe I do want to send a text at 2 a.m. when I'm up, but the other person isn't. Cool. But there could be a way that children could maybe use that to make a message appear more timely than it actually was. And it's a gray use case, but I just thought parents should know that you can now schedule a message to be sent later. So just know about that, right? Mm-hmm. And then the next one is the ability to use satellite iMessage to send or receive text without Wi-Fi or data. So, I mean, from a safety standpoint, if you're camping, right, with your family, great. Mm-hmm. But children who have been intentionally not given access to the Wi-Fi network or a cell plan can now communicate without those. So,
okay. So another setting that makes it harder for parents to manage their child's use of the device and access to things on the device that could be concerning. So we don't love most of these updates. Typically, when there's an update from Apple, they roll out more things in favor of privacy, which, again, we've already talked about, could be good for adults, but is bad for kids and bad for parents who are trying to monitor their device activity. So Bark offers a few solutions here, but one being the Bark app to layer on top of an iPhone to help parents monitor the iPhone. Can you just talk a little bit about that and how layering Bark on top of the iPhone can help with some of these maybe new harms?
Yeah, absolutely. So if you opt for the Bark phone for your child's first smartphone, you don't have to worry about any of this.
Right.
You choose who your child can or cannot talk to and when. You choose which apps they can or cannot or should not have access to. Our parental controls actually work. Apple's screen time is still having bugs, and they haven't mentioned a single thing about working to fix those in this new iOS 18 update. We offer accurate screen time usage charts. Apple's are buggy, like I said. Yeah. We, whether it's our app or our smartphone, will send you alerts if and when your child has encountered problematic content or problematic people. We're going to proactively alert you instead of just facilitate those harmful interactions. Additionally, while Apple will, through their communication safety feature, if you know how to turn it on, will blur child nudes and ask the child if they want to send them or not. It won't prevent them from sending them, and it won't prevent them from taking them. But with the Bark phone, don't even allow children to take nude photos or videos, and we certainly don't allow them to send them. It's just not possible with our tool. So
the fact that that technology exists and it's not being used across the board on all the social media sites, on all of these phones that kids have access to is insane to me. Because, and parents need to truly understand that your child taking and sending a nude image, receiving a nude image and sharing it on, like this is illegal in a lot of states, and your kid could get in a lot of trouble, and you could get in a lot of trouble as the parent of the child, and you own that device. So it is more serious than ever. It's not like when we were young and it was like, sometimes people would send nude images back and forth, whatever. Like you didn't get in trouble. It didn't end up on the internet. It didn't end up in AI doing crazy things with it, and you didn't get arrested. But like that's where we're at now when it comes to that. And so thank you to Bark for allowing us to protect our children from that scary stuff when it comes to CSAM on the devices.
Yeah, I mean, we all wish that we didn't have to exist as a company.
I know.
For us to work at Bark.
Right.
But we are so thankful that we do exist, and that amazing parents like you are trusting us and spreading the word, because you don't know about it until sometimes it's too late, and that's heartbreaking. So yeah, if you are going to let your child have access to an Apple device, iPhone, iPad, etc., please make sure you are using not only their built-in screen time management and blocking tools, but know that they're buggy. Know that they are not doing you any favors when it comes to helping you parent in a tech world. And please strongly consider using something like Bark that can help you with content monitoring and accurate screen time management and actual website blocking and beautifully accurate location tracking. So,
and if you haven't given your child a device yet, please consider the Bark Watch, which comes out soon. Please.
Yes.
Don't jump to any kind of phone yet. They don't need it. Because once you have that phone, there is the pressure. Even the Bark phone, I'm sure the kids are like, can I have more apps? Can I have more apps? Just the ability to have more, like their friends may have. I think we start with the watch and we graduate to the phone when you want to start getting them involved in more of the fun functionality, the safe functionality of the device.
Children need to be able to have a childhood, right? They're not able to have a childhood like any other generation has ever existed on this planet. And that's heartbreaking. So yeah, like you said, the Bark Watch, which will be very limited in functionality, which is what's best for kids. The ability to talk and text with trusted contacts, the ability to let you track their location and monitor their texts, because toxic texts are taking place on the Apple smartwatch without your knowledge. So yeah, they don't need all the things all at once as a child.
Yeah. Okay. I think we covered it.
Gosh, you are such a force for good in this world. You are uniquely positioned, and I hope everybody who is watching this and listening to this, please give Nikki like your full support in terms of hitting that like wherever you see this, leaving comments, sharing her content. Like we need your voice everywhere. I saw where you had a few press hits last week. Like the major media outlets are starting to pay attention. They're like, wow, this Nikki, she knows her stuff, right? And like, you're smart, you're sharp, you don't let up, you hold people accountable. Like, keep it going. We need more moms like you.
Thank you, Titania. I mean, you're an inspiration in this space. And every time I see you like out there speaking of groups and on the news, I'm like, I need to do more and I need to get my voice out there, because we know the harms and we know the stories and we know how to guide parents in a way for it to be safer. There's no like cure-all situation here. And that's why we're pushing for legislation and advocating and all of that. But there are safer decisions we can make in the home. It's just about educating ourselves and being aware of those options. So thank you. Thank you to Bark. Thank you for having this conversation. We will be back again next month with whatever else is happening new, maybe the watch rollout or the month after. But Titania, thank you.
Thank you, Nikki. It is always an honor and a pleasure.